Question 1. In Wyoming, under the Personal Auto Policy, PAP, Part C, uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, which of the following situations would typically be covered? A collision where the at-fault driver has sufficient insurance to cover all damages. B. A hit-and-run accident where the driver cannot be identified. C. Damage to your vehicle caused by a falling tree. D. Medical payments for injuries sustained in a racing event. Question 2. In Wyoming, what is the primary principle underlying the concept of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. To ensure the insured profits from a loss. B. To restore the insured to the same financial position as before the loss. C. To transfer the risk to another party. D. To guarantee that the insured will never experience a loss. Question 3. Mr. Anderson has a homeowner's insurance policy in Wyoming and has recently experienced damage to his detached garage due to a storm. Which coverage part of his homeowner's insurance policy would address this damage? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 4. In Wyoming, under the Personal Auto Policy, PAP, Part D, coverage for damage to your auto, which of the following is typically covered? A. Damage to your car due to a flood. B. Personal items stolen from your car. C. Mechanical breakdown of the vehicle. D. Normal wear and tear of the vehicle. Question 5. Which of the following best describes the principle of utmost good faith in Wyoming personal lines insurance? A. The insured is expected to make a profit from the insurance policy. B. Both the insurer and the insured must act honestly and disclose all relevant information. C. The insurer is obligated to pay for all losses, regardless of the cause. D. The insured can conceal certain facts if they believe it won't affect their policy. Question 6. Which of the following is true about the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, available in Wyoming? A. It covers flood-related losses caused by sewer backup unrelated to flooding. B. It provides coverage for damage to both the building and personal property. C. It requires a separate deductible for each coverage part. D. It covers losses due to earthquakes. Question 7. In Wyoming, which of the following best defines insurable interest in personal lines insurance? A. The insured's potential to profit from a loss. B. The insured's ability to transfer the policy to another person. C. The insured's financial stake in the insured property or person. D. The insured's obligation to prevent all losses. Question 8. Mr. Thompson lives in Wyoming and owns a valuable art collection. Which type of inland marine policy would best protect his collection? A. Personal effects coverage. B. Personal articles floater. C. Personal property floater. D. Watercraft policy. Question 9. Under Wyoming's homeowners insurance policies, which coverage part is responsible for covering additional living expenses if the insured home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage D. Loss of use. D. Coverage E. Personal liability. Question 10. Which of the following best describes the self-insured retention, sir? In a Wyoming personal umbrella policy, A. It is the maximum amount the insurer will pay for a claim. B. It is the deductible amount the insured must pay before the umbrella policy responds. C. It is the portion of the claim paid by a secondary insurer. D. It is the total premium paid for the policy. Question 11. Under Wyoming's personal auto policy, PAP, Part, liability coverage, which of the following is typically covered? A. Damage to the insured's own vehicle. B. Bodily injury to passengers in the insured's vehicle. C. Legal defense costs if the insured is sued. D. Personal items stolen from the insured's vehicle. Question 12. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under a Wyoming homeowner's insurance policy? A. Damage caused by a fire. B. Theft of personal property. C. Flood damage. D. Liability for injuries to others. Question 13. In Wyoming, which of the following is a requirement for an insurable risk? A. The risk must be certain to occur. B. The risk must be speculative. C. C. The loss must be definite and measurable. D. The risk must be uninsurable by any other entity. Question 14. Mrs. Wilson owns a home in Wyoming. If her home is destroyed by a tornado, which part of her homeowner's insurance policy will cover the cost to rebuild her home? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 15. Which of the following best explains the role of the Wyoming State Insurance Department? A. It sets insurance premiums for all policies. B. It investigates and resolves consumer complaints. C. It underwrites insurance policies for residents. D. It provides legal defense for insurers in lawsuits. Question 16. Which of the following is typically excluded from coverage under a Wyoming homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire damage. B. Earthquake damage. C. Theft. D. Vandalism. Question 17. Mr. Smith owns a boat in Wyoming and wants to protect it against liability and physical damage. Which type of insurance policy should he purchase? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's policy. C. Watercraft policy. D. Inland marine policy. Question 18. Which of the following is true about personal liability insurance in Wyoming? A. It covers intentional acts of the insured. B. It provides coverage only for bodily injury but not property damage. C. It covers legal defense costs in a liability lawsuit. D. It does not cover incidents occurring off the insured's property. Question 19. In Wyoming, under the personal auto policy, PAP, which of the following is covered by medical payments coverage? Part B. A. Medical expenses for the insured's injuries in a hit-and-run accident. B. Property damage to the insured's vehicle. C. Medical expenses for injuries to a pedestrian hit by the insured's vehicle. D. Legal defense costs in a liability lawsuit. Question 20. In Wyoming, which of the following is true about the claims process in personal lines insurance? A. The insurer is required to pay the claim within 24 hours. B. The insured must provide proof of loss to the insurer. C. The insurer does not need to investigate the claim. D. The insured can settle the claim without informing the insurer. Question 21. Under Wyoming homeowners insurance policies, which coverage part typically covers personal property? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 22. Which of the following is typically required for an insurance contract to be legally binding in Wyoming? A. The contract must be notarized. B. Both parties must have a clear understanding of the terms and conditions. C. The insurer must be a government entity. D. The insured must waive all rights to sue. Question 23. Which of the following is covered under a Wyoming personal umbrella policy? A. Professional liability claims. B. Intentional acts. C. Liability claims exceeding underlying policy limits. D. Auto repairs. Question 24. In Wyoming, under the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, which of the following is covered? A. Damage to the insured's vehicle. B. Mold damage resulting from flooding. C. Structural damage to the building from flooding. D. Additional living expenses due to temporary relocation. Question 25. Mr. Lee is a resident of Wyoming and wants to ensure his valuable jewelry collection is fully covered. Which of the following endorsements should he add to his homeowner's policy? A. Water backup endorsement. B. Personal injury endorsement. C. Scheduled personal property endorsement. D. Replacement cost endorsement. Question 26. Which of the following is an OT requirement for obtaining a personal lines insurance license in Wyoming? A. Passing a state licensing exam. B. Completing a pre-licensing education course. C. Being at least 18 years old. D. Holding a college degree in finance or business. Question 27. Which of the following is typically an OT covered under the liability section of a Wyoming homeowner's insurance policy? A. Medical expenses for a guest injured on the property. B. Damage to the neighbor's property caused by the insured's tree. C. Legal defense costs in a liability lawsuit. D. The insured's personal injuries. Question 28. In Wyoming, what is the primary function of the NAIC, National Association of Insurance Commissioners? A. To set insurance rates for all states. B. To provide a national forum for addressing insurance regulatory issues. C. To underwrite insurance policies. D. To settle insurance claims. Question 29. Which of the following best describes the purpose of Wyoming's Fair Claims Settlement Practices regulations? A. To ensure insurers charge fair premiums. B. To protect consumers from unfair claim handling practices. C. To regulate the types of insurance policies offered. D. To mandate coverage for all perils. Question 30. Which of the following is a typical exclusion in a Wyoming personal auto policy? A. Damage caused by collision. B. Damage caused by mechanical breakdown. C. Damage caused by fire. D. Damage caused by theft. Correct answer. B. A hit-and-run accident where the driver cannot be identified. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, provides protection when an insured is involved in an accident with a driver who either has no insurance or insufficient insurance. It also covers incidents where the at-fault driver cannot be identified, such as in a hit-and-run accident. The other options are not covered under this part. Option A is a scenario where the at-fault driver has sufficient coverage. Option C is typically covered under comprehensive coverage, Part D, and Option D is excluded as it involves a racing event, which is generally not covered by standard auto policies. Correct answer. B. To restore the insured to the same financial position as before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity in insurance aims to make the insured whole again, meaning they are compensated to the extent of their loss but no more. This ensures that the insured does not profit from the insurance claim but is returned to their original financial state prior to the incident. Option A contradicts the principle as it implies profit. Option C describes risk transfer but does not capture the essence of indemnity. And Option D is unrealistic as insurance cannot prevent losses but can only mitigate their financial impact. Correct answer. B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation. Homeowners insurance policies in Wyoming typically categorize a detached garage under coverage B. Other structures. This part covers buildings on the property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as detached garages, sheds, and fences. Coverage pertains to the main dwelling itself. Coverage C applies to personal property within the home, and coverage D covers additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable due to covered loss. Therefore, the appropriate coverage for Mr. Anderson's detached garage is coverage B. Correct answer. A. Damage to your car due to a flood. Explanation. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D, includes two main types, collision and comprehensive. Comprehensive coverage protects against damages from incidents other than collision, such as floods, theft, vandalism, and natural disasters. Personal items, B, are usually covered under homeowners or renters insurance. Mechanical breakdown, C, is not covered unless a mechanical breakdown endorsement is purchased and normal wear and tear. D is excluded. Correct answer. B. Both the insurer and the insured must act honestly and disclose all relevant information. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith requires both parties in an insurance contract to act honestly and disclose all relevant information. This ensures that the insurer can accurately assess and price the risk and the insured receives appropriate coverage. Option A contradicts the indemnity principle. Option C is incorrect as not all losses are covered. And Option D violates the requirement for full disclosure. Correct answer. B. It provides coverage for damage to both the building and personal property. Explanation. The NFIP offers flood insurance that covers damage to both the building and its contents, personal property. Option A is incorrect as sewer backups are covered only if they directly result from flooding. Option C is misleading as deductibles may vary but are not necessarily separate for each coverage part. Option D is incorrect as earthquake damage is not covered by flood insurance but requires a separate earthquake policy. Correct answer. C. The insured's financial stake in the insured property or person. Explanation. Insurable interest is the legal right to insure arising out of a financial relationship recognized under law between the insured and the insured object or person. It ensures that the insured will suffer a genuine financial loss if the insured event occurs, preventing the policy from being used as a wagering mechanism. Options A and B are incorrect as they do not align with the legal requirement of insurable interest. Option D misrepresents the nature of insurance. Correct answer. B. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater is designed to provide coverage for valuable individual items such as art, jewelry, and collectibles. It offers broader protection than standard homeowners policies and can cover losses anywhere in the world. Option A is incorrect as personal effects coverage typically applies to items temporarily away from the insured's home. Option C is more general and may not provide the specialized coverage needed. Option D pertains to watercraft, not art collections. Correct answer. C. Coverage D. Loss of use. Explanation. Coverage D. Loss of use provides reimbursement for additional living expenses incurred when the insured home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril. This includes costs such as hotel stays, restaurant meals, and other expenses above normal living costs. Coverage is for the dwelling itself. Coverage B is for other structures on the property, and coverage E is for personal liability. Correct answer. B. It is the deductible amount the insured must pay before the umbrella policy responds. Explanation. Self-insured retention, sir, is the amount the insured must pay out of pocket before the umbrella policy will provide coverage. It functions similarly to a deductible but applies specifically to umbrella policies. Options A and C misrepresent the SIR's function, while option D confuses the SIR with the premium. Correct answer. C. Legal defense costs if the insured is sued. Explanation. Part. Liability coverage protects the insured against financial loss if they are legally responsible for causing bodily injury or property damage to others. This includes coverage for legal defense costs in the event of a lawsuit. Damage to the insured's own vehicle, A, is covered under Part D. Bodily injury to passengers, B, is covered under Part B or C, and personal items, D, are typically covered under homeowners or renters insurance. Correct answer. C. Flood damage. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies do not cover flood damages. Separate flood insurance must be purchased through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, or private insurers. Fire damage, A. Theft of personal property, B. And liability for injuries to others, D. are typically included in standard homeowners policies. Correct answer. C. The loss must be definite and measurable. Explanation. For a risk to be insurable, the loss must be definite and measurable, meaning it must be clear when a loss has occurred and it must be possible to quantify the financial impact. This allows insurers to set appropriate premiums and ensure they can cover potential claims. Option A is incorrect as the risk must be uncertain. Option B is incorrect as speculative risks are not insurable. And option D is misleading as it is not a standard requirement. Correct answer. A. Coverage. Dwelling. Explanation. Coverage. Dwelling provides protection for the main structure of the home and attached structures. It covers the cost to rebuild or repair the home if it is damaged or destroyed by a covered peril, such as a tornado. Coverage B applies to other structures on the property. Coverage C covers personal property, and coverage D covers additional living expenses. Correct answer. B. It investigates and resolves consumer complaints. Explanation. The Wyoming State Insurance Department regulates the insurance industry within the state, ensuring that insurers comply with state laws and regulations. One of its roles is to investigate and resolve consumer complaints regarding insurance practices. It does not set insurance premiums, A, underwrite policies, C, or provide legal defense for insurers, D. Correct answer. B, earthquake damage. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude earthquake damage. To obtain coverage for earthquakes, homeowners need to purchase a separate earthquake insurance policy or an endorsement. Fire damage, A, theft, C, and vandalism, D, are generally covered under standard homeowners policies. Correct answer. C, watercraft policy. Explanation. A watercraft policy is specifically designed to provide coverage for boats and other watercraft, including liability and physical damage protection. Personal auto policies, and homeowners policies B. Do not typically cover watercraft and inland marine policies. D. Are intended for movable personal property but not for boats. Correct answer. C. It covers legal defense costs in a liability lawsuit. Explanation. Personal liability insurance provides coverage for legal defense costs if the insured is sued for causing bodily injury or property damage to others. It does not cover intentional acts. A. Covers both bodily injury and property damage. B. And can cover incidents occurring off the insured's property. D. Correct answer. A. Medical expenses for the insured's injuries in a hit-and-run accident. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, provides payment for medical expenses incurred by the insured and their passengers, regardless of fault, including injuries sustained in a hit-and-run accident. Does not cover property damage. B. Injuries to pedestrians. C. Or legal defense costs. D. Correct answer. B. The insured must provide proof of loss to the insurer. Explanation. The claims process requires the insured to provide proof of loss to the insurer, which includes documentation and details of the loss. This allows the insurer to investigate and determine the validity of the claim. Option A is incorrect as the time frame for payment varies. Option C misrepresents the insurer's duty to investigate. And option D is incorrect as the insurer must be informed of any settlements. Correct answer. C. Coverage. C. Personal property. Explanation. Coverage. C. Personal property covers personal belongings within the home, such as furniture, clothing, and electronics. Coverage is for the dwelling. Coverage B is for other structures on the property, and coverage D is for additional living expenses. Correct answer. B. Both parties must have a clear understanding of the terms and conditions. Explanation. For an insurance contract to be legally binding, both parties must have a mutual understanding of the terms and conditions, which includes the coverage, exclusions, and obligations. Option A is unnecessary. Option C is incorrect as insurers can be private entities. And option D violates legal principles protecting the insured's rights. Correct answer. C. Liability claims exceeding underlying policy limits. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage beyond the limits of the insured's underlying policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance. It does not cover professional liability, intentional acts. B. Or auto repairs. D. Correct answer. C. Structural damage to the building from flooding. Explanation. The NFIP covers structural damage to buildings caused by flooding. It does not cover damage to vehicles. A. Mold damage unless directly caused by flooding. B. Or additional living expenses. D. Which are excluded under the standard flood policy. Correct answer. C. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement allows Mr. Lee to specifically list and insure high-value items like jewelry for their appraised value, providing broader coverage in the standard homeowner's policy. Options A and B are irrelevant, and D provides a basis for claims but does not address high-value items specifically. Correct answer. D. Holding a college degree in finance or business. Explanation. While passing the state licensing exam, completing a pre-licensing education course, and being at least 18 years old are typical requirements for obtaining a personal lines insurance license in Wyoming. Holding a college degree in finance or business is not a mandatory requirement. Correct answer. D. The insured's personal injuries. Explanation. The liability section of a homeowner's insurance policy covers the insured's legal responsibility for injuries and property damage to others, including medical expenses. A. Damage to neighbor's property. B. And legal defense costs. C. The insured's personal injuries. D. Are not covered under liability but may be covered under health insurance or personal injury protection. Correct answer. B. To provide a national forum for addressing insurance regulatory issues. Explanation. The NAIC provides a national forum for addressing insurance regulatory issues, developing model laws and regulations, and promoting uniformity among state insurance departments. It does not set insurance rates. A. Underwrite policies. C. Or settle claims. D. Correct answer. B. To protect consumers from unfair claim handling practices. Explanation. Fair claims settlement practices regulations are designed to protect consumers by ensuring that insurers handle claims fairly and promptly. They do not address premium rates. A. The types of policies offered. C. Or mandate coverage for all perils. D. Correct answer. B. Damage caused by mechanical breakdown. Explanation. A typical exclusion in a personal auto policy is damage caused by mechanical breakdown, as these are considered maintenance issues and not covered perils. Damage caused by collision, a fire, C, and theft, D, are generally covered under the appropriate sections of the auto policy, collision, and comprehensive. Question 31. Under Wyoming's homeowners insurance policy, which coverage part provides protection for additional living expenses if the insured home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril, A. Coverage dwelling, B. Coverage B. Other structures, C. Coverage C. Personal property, D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 32. Which principle of insurance requires that an insured must suffer a financial loss or have a financial interest in the property insured? A. Principle of utmost good faith. B. Principle of indemnity. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of subrogation. Question 33. In Wyoming, what is the purpose of a deductible in a personal auto insurance policy? A. To eliminate small claims. B. To increase the premium amount. C. To provide full coverage for all claims. D. To cover legal defense costs. Question 34. Which of the following types of property would be covered under a Wyoming inland marine policy? A. The insured's home. B. The insured's boat. C. The insured's valuable artwork. D. The insured's car. Question 35. In Wyoming, which of the following perils is typically an OT covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire. B. Hail. C. Earthquake. D. Theft. Question 36. Under Wyoming law, which of the following is required for an insurance contract to be valid? A. The insured must be U.S. citizen. B. There must be an offer and acceptance. C. The contract must be notarized. D. The insured must pay the premium in full upfront. Question 37. Which of the following is true regarding uninsured underinsured motorist coverage? Part C. In a Wyoming personal auto policy, A. It only covers property damage. B. It is optional coverage. C. It covers damages if the insured is at fault. D. It does not provide coverage for medical expenses. Question 38. Miss Johnson owns a home in Wyoming and has a homeowner's policy. Which of the following would typically be covered under coverage B? Other structures. A. Her detached garage. B. Her personal belongings inside the home. C. Her living expenses if she needs to relocate temporarily. D. Her personal liability for an injury on her property. Question 39. In Wyoming, which of the following is an example of an unfair trade practice in insurance? A. Offering a discount for bundling policies. B. Refusing to pay a claim without a reasonable investigation. C. Providing a free quote for auto insurance. D. Offering coverage for high-risk drivers. Question 40. Which of the following describes a self-insured retention in a Wyoming personal umbrella policy? A. The amount the insured must pay before the umbrella policy pays for a loss. B. The portion of a loss covered by the primary insurance policy. C. The maximum amount the umbrella policy will pay for a loss. D. The deductible for the underlying auto or homeowner's policy. Question 41. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in Wyoming insurance contracts? A. The insured can profit from a loss. B. The insured is restored to their financial position prior to the loss. C. The insurer covers all possible perils. D. The insured must prove their innocence in a claim. Question 42. Under Wyoming's personal auto policy, PAP, which of the following would typically be covered under liability coverage? Part A. A. Damage to the insured's own vehicle. B. Medical expenses for the insured. C. Bodily injury to another driver caused by the insured. D. Theft of the insured's vehicle. Question 43. In Wyoming, what is typically an OT covered under a personal umbrella policy? A. Excess liability claims. B. Legal defense costs. C. Intentional acts by the insured. D. Liability claims exceeding underlying policy limits. Question 44. Which of the following is true regarding flood insurance in Wyoming? A. It is included in standard homeowners insurance policies. B. It is available only through private insurers. C. It can be purchased through the National Flood Insurance Program and FIP. D. It covers earthquake-related damages. Question 45. Which coverage in a Wyoming homeowner's policy would apply if a visitor is injured on the insured's property and sues for medical expenses? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 46. Which of the following best describes the role of underwriting in Wyoming's insurance industry? A. Selling insurance policies to consumers. B. Evaluating risk and determining policy terms. C. Investigating and settling insurance claims. D. Representing clients in legal disputes. Question 47. In Wyoming, what is a common exclusion in a personal umbrella policy? A. Liability arising from a business conducted at the insured's home. B. Personal injury liability. C. Auto accident liability. D. Homeowner's liability. Question 48. In Wyoming, which of the following statements is true about the replacement cost coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. It covers the actual cash value of damaged property. B. It pays the full cost to replace the property without depreciation. C. It only applies to personal property. D. It covers the cost to upgrade the damaged property. Question 49. In Wyoming, which coverage would respond if the insured's vehicle is damaged by a falling tree? A. Liability coverage. B. Collision coverage. C. Comprehensive coverage. D. Medical payments coverage. Question 50. In Wyoming, which of the following best describes subrogation in insurance? A. The insured's right to sue a third party for damages. B. The insurer's right to pursue recovery from a third party responsible for a loss. C. The process of underwriting a policy. D. The insured's obligation to pay a deductible. Question 51. Which of the following is typically covered under coverage D? Fair rental value in a Wyoming dwelling policy. D. Pit 3. A. Additional living expenses for the insured. B. Loss of rental income if the rented part of the property becomes uninhabitable. C. Damage to the insured's personal property. D. Liability for injuries to tenants. Question 52. In Wyoming, which of the following is a primary purpose of the National Flood Insurance Program and FIP? A. To provide flood insurance at subsidized rates. B. To cover earthquake damage. C. To eliminate the need for private flood insurance. D. To cover all water damage regardless of cause. Question 53. Mr. Smith has a Wyoming homeowner's policy. A guest slips and falls on his icy sidewalk, sustaining injuries. Which coverage will respond to the guest's medical expenses? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage C. Personal property. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 54. In Wyoming, which of the following is a feature of the medical payments coverage? Part B. In a personal auto policy, A. It pays for the medical expenses of the other driver if the insured is at fault. B. It covers the insured's legal defense costs in a lawsuit. C. It pays for the medical expenses of the insured and passengers regardless of fault. D. It covers damage to the insured's vehicle. Question 55. In Wyoming, which of the following is generally excluded from a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Theft of personal property. B. Windstorm damage. C. Flood damage. D. Fire damage. Question 56. Which of the following best describes the concept of utmost good faith in Wyoming insurance contracts? A. Both parties must act honestly and disclose all material facts. B. The insurer guarantees full coverage for all losses. C. The insured must pay premiums in advance. D. The insurer provides coverage regardless of risk. Question 57. Under Wyoming's personal auto policy, which coverage part provides protection against physical damage to the insured's vehicle from a collision? A. Liability coverage. B. Comprehensive coverage. C. Collision coverage. D. Uninsured motorist coverage. Question 58. Which of the following is typically covered under a Wyoming personal articles floater? A. The insured's primary residence. B. The insured's vacation home. C. The insured's valuable jewelry. D. The insured's bow. Question 59. In Wyoming, what is the primary purpose of the appraisal clause in an insurance policy? A. To determine the value of the insured's property at the time of loss. B. To assess the insurer's financial stability. C. To set the premium rate for the policy. D. To provide a process for resolving disputes over the amount of a loss. Question 60. Which of the following statements about the Wyoming Fair Access to Insurance Requirements Fair Plan is true? A. It provides insurance for high-risk properties that cannot obtain coverage in the voluntary market. B. It is mandatory for all homeowners to purchase through the FAR plan. C. It only covers flood damage. D. It offers insurance at below market rates. Correct answer. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Explanation. Coverage D. Loss of use covers additional living expenses incurred when the insured home is uninhabitable due to a covered peril. This helps the insured maintain their standard of living while their home is being repaired or rebuilt. Coverage is for the dwelling, coverage B is for other structures, and coverage C is for personal property. Correct answer. C. Principle of insurable interest. Explanation. The principle of insurable interest requires that the insured must have a financial interest in the property insured, meaning they would suffer a financial loss if the property were damaged or destroyed. This principle ensures that insurance is not used for speculative purposes. The principle of utmost good faith involves honesty between the insurer and insured. The principle of indemnity aims to restore the insured to their pre-loss condition, and the principle of subrogation allows the insurer to pursue recovery from third parties. Correct answer. A. To eliminate small claims. Explanation. A deductible is the amount the insured must pay out of pocket before the insurance company pays for a covered loss. It helps eliminate small claims, reduces administrative costs, and encourages the insured to be more cautious. It does not increase premiums. B. Provide full coverage. C. Or cover legal defense costs. D. Correct answer. C. The insured's valuable artwork. Explanation. Inland marine insurance provides coverage for movable or specialized types of property such as valuable artwork, jewelry, and other personal property that may not be fully covered under standard homeowners or auto insurance policies. The insured's home and car D are covered under homeowners and auto policies, respectively, while the boat B would be covered under a watercraft policy. Correct answer. C. Earthquake. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies generally do not cover damage caused by earthquakes. To obtain coverage for earthquake damage, homeowners need to purchase a separate earthquake insurance policy or an endorsement. Fire, hail, B, and theft D are typically covered perils under standard homeowners policies. Correct answer. B. There must be an offer and acceptance. Explanation. For an insurance contract to be valid, there must be an offer from one party and acceptance by the other, along with consideration, premium payment, legal purpose, and competent parties. Being a U.S. citizen A, is not a requirement, notarization C is unnecessary, and paying the premium in full upfront D is not always required as premiums can be paid in installments. Correct answer. B. It is optional coverage. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, is optional coverage that provides protection if the insured is involved in an accident with a driver who does not have insurance or whose insurance is insufficient to cover the damages. It covers both bodily injury and property damage, depending on the policy terms. It does not cover damages if the insured is at fault. C, and it does provide coverage for medical expenses. D. Correct answer. A. Her detached garage. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures cover structures on the insured's property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as a detached garage, shed, or fence. Personal belongings inside the home B are covered under coverage C. Personal property, living expenses for temporary relocation C are covered under coverage D. Loss of use and personal liability D is covered under coverage E. Personal liability. Correct answer. B. Refusing to pay a claim without a reasonable investigation. Explanation. Refusing to pay a claim without a reasonable investigation is an example of an unfair trade practice. Insurers are required to investigate claims promptly and fairly. Offering discounts for bundling policies, A. Providing free quotes, C. And offering coverage for high-risk drivers, D. Or standard industry practices and not considered unfair. Correct answer, A. The amount the insured must pay before the umbrella policy pays for a loss. Explanation. Self-insured retention, sir, is the amount the insured must pay out of pocket before the umbrella policy provides coverage. It functions similarly to a deductible but applies specifically to umbrella policies. The primary insurance policy covers a portion of the loss. B. The maximum amount the umbrella policy will pay is its limit. C. And the underlying policy deductible. D. Is separate from the SIR. Correct answer. B. The insured is restored to their financial position prior to the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position prior to the loss without profiting from the insurance claim. It aims to make the insured whole again. Profiting from a loss, A, contradicts this principle. Covering all possible perils, C, is not feasible, and proving innocence in a claim, D, is not related to indemnity. Correct answer. C. Bodily injury to another driver caused by the insured. Explanation. Liability coverage, Part A, under the personal auto policy provides coverage for bodily injury and property damage to others for which the insured is legally responsible due to an auto accident. Does not cover damage to the insured's own vehicle, A, medical expenses for the insured, B, or theft of the insured's vehicle, D, which are covered under other parts of the policy. Correct answer. C. Intentional acts by the insured. Explanation. Personal umbrella policies do not cover intentional acts by the insured, as insurance is designed to cover accidental or negligent acts, not deliberate actions. Umbrella policies do provide coverage for excess liability claims, legal defense costs, B, and liability claims exceeding the underlying policy limits, D. Correct answer. C. It can be purchased through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Explanation. Flood insurance can be purchased through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, which is managed by FEMA. Standard homeowners insurance policies do not include flood coverage, A, and while private insurers can offer flood insurance, NFIP is a common source, B, earthquake-related damages, D, requires separate earthquake insurance. Correct answer. C, coverage, E. Personal liability. Explanation. Coverage, E. Personal liability provides coverage if the insured is found legally responsible for bodily injury to a visitor on their property, including legal defense costs and medical expenses. Coverage A is for the dwelling, coverage B is for other structures, and coverage FD pays for medical expenses without regard to liability but does not cover legal defense. Correct answer. B. Evaluating risk and determining policy terms. Explanation. Underwriting involves evaluating the risk associated with insuring an individual or property and determining the terms, conditions, and pricing of the insurance policy. Selling policies, A, is the role of agents, investigating claims, C, is the role of adjusters, and representing clients in legal disputes, D, is the role of attorneys. Correct answer. A liability arising from a business conducted at the insured's home. Explanation. A common exclusion in a personal umbrella policy is liability arising from business activities conducted at the insured's home. Personal umbrella policies are designed to cover personal liability, not business-related risks. Personal injury liability, B, auto accident liability, C, and homeowner's liability, D, are typically covered if they exceed the limits of the underlying policies. Correct answer. B, it pays the full cost to replace the property without depreciation. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage pays the full cost to replace damaged property without deducting for depreciation. Provides enough funds to replace the property with a similar item of like kind and quality. Actual cash value, includes depreciation, and replacement cost coverage applies to both the dwelling and personal property, not just personal property, C. Does not cover the cost to upgrade the property, D. Correct answer. C. Comprehensive coverage. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage under a personal auto policy covers damage to the insured's vehicle caused by non-collision events such as a falling tree. Liability coverage, A, pays for damages to others if the insured is at fault. Collision coverage. B. Pays for damage to the insured's vehicle from collisions and medical payments coverage. D. Covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers. Correct answer. B. The insurer's right to pursue recovery from a third party responsible for a loss. Explanation. Subrogation is the insurer's right to pursue recovery from a third party responsible for a loss after the insurer has paid a claim to the insured. This allows the insurer to recover the amount paid out on the claim from the party at fault. The insured's right to sue A is separate from subrogation. Underwriting C is a risk evaluation process and paying a deductible. D is the insured's responsibility before the insurer pays a claim. Correct answer. B. Loss of rental income if the rented part of the property becomes uninhabitable. Explanation. Coverage D. Fair rental value in a dwelling policy DP3 covers the loss of rental income if a rented part of the insured property becomes uninhabitable due to covered peril. Additional living expenses A are covered under coverage E. Damage to personal property C is covered under coverage C, and liability for injuries to tenants D requires a separate liability policy. Correct answer. A. To provide flood insurance at subsidized rates. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, aims to provide affordable flood insurance at subsidized rates to homeowners, renters, and businesses in participating communities. It does not cover earthquake damage. B. Does not eliminate the need for private flood insurance. C. As private options can supplement NFIP coverage, and does not cover all water damage. D. Such as water damage from non-flood sources. Correct answer. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Explanation. Coverage F. Medical payments to others pays for medical expenses incurred by guests who are injured on the insured's property, regardless of fault. Provides prompt payment for medical costs. Coverage A is for the dwelling. Coverage C. B is for personal property. And coverage E. C covers personal liability, including legal defense costs if the insured is sued. Correct answer. C. It pays for the medical expenses of the insured and passengers, regardless of fault. Explanation. Medical payments coverage. Part B. In a personal auto policy covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers in the insured's vehicle, regardless of who is at fault in an accident. Does not pay for the other driver's medical expenses. A. Legal defense costs. B. Or vehicle damage. D. Correct answer. C. Flood damage. Explanation. Flood damage is generally excluded from standard homeowners insurance policies and requires a separate flood insurance policy, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Theft of personal property, A, windstorm damage, B, and fire damage, D, are typically covered under standard homeowners policies. Correct answer. A, both parties must act honestly and disclose all material facts. Explanation. The concept of utmost good faith requires both parties in an insurance contract to act honestly and disclose all material facts. This principle ensures transparency and trust between the insurer and insured. It does not guarantee full coverage for all losses. B. Require premiums to be paid in advance. C. Or provide coverage regardless of risk. D. Correct answer. C. Collision coverage. Explanation. Collision coverage under a personal auto policy provides protection against physical damage to the insured's vehicle resulting from a collision with another vehicle or object. Liability coverage. A. Covers damages to others. Comprehensive coverage. B. Covers non-collision related damage. And uninsured motorist coverage. D. Protects against damages caused by uninsured drivers. Correct answer. C. The insured's valuable jewelry. Explanation. A personal articles floater provides additional coverage for valuable items such as jewelry, art, furs, and other high-value personal property that may have limited coverage under standard homeowners policies. The insured's primary residence, A, and vacation home, B, are covered under homeowners policies, and the insured's boat, D, is covered under watercraft policies. Correct answer. D, to provide a process for resolving disputes over the amount of a loss. Explanation. The appraisal clause in an insurance policy provides a process for resolving disputes between the insured and the insurer over the amount of a loss. Each party selects an appraiser, and the appraisers select an umpire. The agreement of any two of the three determines the amount of the loss, does not determine the value of the property at the time of loss. A. Assess the insurer's financial stability. B. Or set the premium rate. C. Correct answer. A. It provides insurance for high-risk properties that cannot obtain coverage in the voluntary market. Explanation. The FAIR plan provides insurance for high-risk properties that cannot obtain coverage in the voluntary market due to their risk profile. It is not mandatory for all homeowners. B. Does not exclusively cover flood damage. C. And offers coverage at market rates to ensure availability, not below market rates. D. Question 61. What is the primary purpose of coverage? E. Personal liability in a Wyoming homeowner's policy. A. To cover medical expenses for the insured. B. To provide coverage for the insured's personal property. C. To cover legal defense costs and damages if the insured is found liable for bodily injury or property damage. D. To cover additional living expenses if the insured's home is uninhabitable. Question 62. In Wyoming, which of the following is considered an uninsured motor vehicle under the uninsured motorist coverage, Part C, of a personal auto policy? A. A vehicle owned by the government. B. A vehicle that has no liability insurance coverage at the time of the accident. C. A vehicle that is being used for business purposes. D. A vehicle that is rented. Question 63. Which of the following perils is typically covered under a standard Wyoming homeowner's policy? A. Earthquake. B. Flood. C. Fire. D. Nuclear hazard. Question 64. In Wyoming, what is the purpose of the self-insured retention, sir, in a personal umbrella policy? A. To cover losses before the primary insurance kicks in. B. To act as a deductible for covered claims under the umbrella policy. C. To provide additional liability coverage. D. To increase the premium amount. Question 65. Which of the following types of property is typically covered under a Wyoming inland marine policy? A. Real estate property. B. Stationary machinery. C. Personal property in transit. D. Standard household items. Question 66. Which of the following would be covered under medical payments coverage, Part B, in a Wyoming personal auto policy? A. The insured's legal defense costs in an accident lawsuit. B. The insured's medical expenses resulting from an auto accident. C. Damage to the insured's vehicle from a collision. D. The insured's liability for injuries to others. Question 67. In Wyoming, which of the following is typically excluded from a standard personal umbrella policy? A. Liability arising from personal activities. B. Liability covered under a primary homeowner's policy. C. Intentional acts of harm. D. Liability arising from auto accidents. Question 68. In Wyoming, what is the primary function of an endorsement in an insurance policy? A. To cancel the policy. B. To change or add coverage. C. To renew the policy. D. To assess the risk of the insured. Question 69. In Wyoming, which of the following is a feature of a high deductible how pay-ish per low out-of-pocket maximums? B. High monthly premiums. C. Eligibility for a health savings account, HSA. D. Extensive coverage for routine medical expenses. Question 70. Which of the following perils is generally covered under a standard Wyoming homeowner's policy? A. Flood. B. Earthquake. C. Vandalism. D. War. Question 71. Which of the following statements about Wyoming's personal auto policy, PAP, is true? A. PAP covers business use of a personal vehicle. B. PAP provides unlimited medical expense coverage. C. PAP includes coverage for personal injury protection, PIP. D. PAP typically covers vehicles used for ride-sharing services. Question 72. In Wyoming, which of the following coverages is specifically designed to protect against the financial impact of flood damage? A. Comprehensive coverage in a personal auto policy. B. Coverage. D. Fair rental value in a dwelling policy. C. National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. D. Coverage. Dwelling in a homeowner's policy. Question 73. Mr. Thompson has a Wyoming homeowner's policy. A windstorm causes a tree to fall and damage his roof. Which coverage will respond to this loss? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage. B. Other structures. C. Coverage. C. Personal property. D. Coverage. D. Loss of use. Question 74. In Wyoming, which of the following is typically required for an insurance contract to be legally binding? A written agreement signed by both parties. B. A large upfront payment. C. An oral agreement. D. An intention to negotiate further. Question 75. Which of the following coverages in a Wyoming homeowner's policy would respond if the insured is sued for a defamatory statement made against a neighbor? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 76. In Wyoming, which of the following types of policies would provide coverage for a personal watercraft? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's policy. C. Watercraft policy. D. Inland marine policy. Question 77. In Wyoming, which type of endorsement would you need to add to a homeowner's policy to cover the increased value of a recently remodeled kitchen? A. Inflation guard endorsement. B. Personal property replacement cost endorsement. C. Scheduled personal property endorsement. D. Ordinance or law endorsement. Question 78. Under a Wyoming dwelling policy, DPIT 3, which peril is covered on an open peril basis? A. Earthquake. B. Flood. C. Theft. D. Fire. Question 79. In Wyoming, which of the following is considered a covered peril under a standard dwelling policy? D1. A. War. B. Nuclear hazard. C. Windstorm. D. Earthquake. Question 80. Which of the following coverages in a Wyoming homeowner's policy pays for the additional living expenses incurred by the insured if their home becomes uninhabitable due to covered loss? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 81. Which of the following best describes the insurable interest in the context of a Wyoming personal lines insurance policy? A. The potential to benefit from the occurrence of an insured event. B. A financial stake in the property or person insured. C. The ability to influence the occurrence of the insured event. D. The obligation to pay premiums for the insurance policy. Question 82. In Wyoming, what does the term utmost good faith imply in an insurance contract? A. The insured must disclose all relevant information truthfully. B. The insurer must offer the lowest possible premium. C. The insurer guarantees full coverage for all claims. D. The insured can omit information that may increase premiums. Question 83. Under Wyoming law, which of the following scenarios would typically be covered under the personal liability section of a homeowner's policy? A. The insured intentionally damages a neighbor's property. B. The insured's dog bites a visitor on the insured's property. C. The insured's car causes damage to another vehicle. D. The insured's home is damaged in a flood. Question 84. Which of the following is true regarding uninsured underinsured motorist coverage in a Wyoming personal auto policy? A. It provides coverage for the insured's vehicle damage in a hit-and-run accident. B. It covers bodily injury to the insured caused by an uninsured driver. C. It is optional in all states, including Wyoming. D. It replaces liability coverage. Question 85. What is the primary purpose of the declarations page in a Wyoming personal lines insurance policy? A. To detail the exclusions and limitations of the policy. B. To summarize the key information about the policyholder and coverage. C. To explain the claims process in detail. D. To provide a glossary of insurance terms. Question 86. In Wyoming, which type of coverage would protect a homeowner against loss due to burglary? A. Liability coverage. B. Dwelling coverage. C. Personal property coverage. D. Medical payments coverage. Question 87. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under a Wyoming homeowner's policy? A. Theft of personal property. B. Damage to the insured's vehicle parked in the garage. C. Fire damage to the home. D. Liability for injuries to a guest. Question 88. In Wyoming, which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. The insured is compensated for the exact amount of their loss without profit. B. The insured can claim more than the actual loss. C. The insurer can pay less than the actual loss. D. The insurer guarantees profit to the insured in case of a loss. Question 89. Which of the following would be covered under a standard Wyoming homeowner's policy's additional living expenses? A. Repair costs for the damaged home. B. Mortgage payments. C. Temporary housing costs if the home is uninhabitable due to a covered loss. D. Cost of a new home. Question 90. Which of the following describes a named peril policy in Wyoming? A. A policy that covers all perils except those explicitly excluded. B. A policy that covers only the perils listed in the policy. C. A policy that covers liability for injuries to others. D. A policy that provides coverage for natural disasters only. Correct answer. C. To cover legal defense costs and damages if the insured is found liable for bodily injury or property damage. Explanation. Coverage E. Personal liability in a homeowner's policy provides coverage for legal defense costs and damages if the insured is found liable for causing bodily injury or property damage to others. It does not cover medical expenses for the insured. A. Personal property. B. Or additional living expenses. D. Correct answer. B. A vehicle that has no liability insurance coverage at the time of the accident. Explanation. An uninsured motor vehicle under uninsured motorist coverage, Part C, is a vehicle that does not have liability insurance coverage at the time of the accident. Government-owned vehicles, A. Business use vehicles, C. And rented vehicles, D. Are not typically classified as uninsured unless they lack liability coverage. Correct answer. C. Fire. Explanation. Fire is a peril typically covered under a standard homeowner's policy. Earthquakes, A. And floods, B. Require separate policies or endorsements, and nuclear hazards, D. Are generally excluded from coverage. Correct answer. B. To act as a deductible for covered claims under the umbrella policy. Explanation. The self-insured retention, sir, in a personal umbrella policy acts as a deductible that the insured must pay before the umbrella policy provides coverage for a claim. It is not for covering losses before primary insurance. A. Does not directly provide additional liability coverage. C. And does not affect premium amounts. D. Correct answer. C. Personal property in transit. Explanation. An inland marine policy typically covers personal property in transit, such as valuable items that are frequently moved. Real estate property, A. And stationary machinery, B. Are covered under different types of policies, and standard household items, D. Are covered under homeowners' policies. Correct answer. B. The insured's medical expenses resulting from an auto accident. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, in a personal auto policy covers the medical expenses of the insured and passengers resulting from an auto accident, regardless of fault. Legal defense costs, A. Vehicle damage, C. And liability for injuries to others, D. Are covered under different parts of the policy. Correct answer. C. Intentional acts of harm. Explanation. Intentional acts of harm are typically excluded from coverage under a standard personal umbrella policy. Liability arising from personal activities, A. Covered under a primary homeowner's policy, B. And auto accidents, D. Are generally included as long as they exceed the limits of the underlying policies. Correct answer. B. To change or add coverage. Explanation. An endorsement is used to change or add coverage to an existing insurance policy. It does not cancel, A. Or renew, C. The policy, nor is it used to assess risk, D. Which is the role of underwriting. Correct answer. C. Eligibility for a health savings account, HSA. Explanation. A high deductible health pay EHB is characterized by high deductibles and lower premiums, and it allows for eligibility for a health savings account, HSA. It does not have low out-of-pocket maximums, A. High monthly premiums, B. Or extensive coverage for routine medical expenses, D. Without meeting the deductible first. Correct answer. C. Vandalism. Explanation. Vandalism is generally covered under a standard homeowner's policy. Flood, A. And earthquake, B. Require separate policies or endorsements, and war, D. Is typically excluded from coverage. Correct answer. C. PAP includes coverage for personal injury protection, PIP. Explanation. Personal auto policy, PAP, typically includes personal injury protection, PIP, coverage, which pays for medical expenses and, in some cases, lost wages. PAP does not cover business use, A, or vehicles used for ride-sharing services, D, without additional endorsements, and it does not provide unlimited medical expense coverage, B. Correct answer. C, National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, is specifically designed to provide flood insurance to protect against the financial impact of flood damage. Comprehensive coverage in an auto policy, A, fair rental value in a dwelling policy, B, and dwelling coverage in a homeowner's policy, D, do not cover flood damage. Correct answer. A, coverage. Dwelling. Explanation. Coverage. Dwelling provides protection for the physical structure of the insured's home, including damage caused by perils such as windstorms. Coverage B is for other structures on the property. Coverage C is for personal property. And coverage D is for additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable. Correct answer. A written agreement signed by both parties. Explanation. For an insurance contract to be legally binding, there must be a written agreement signed by both parties. While oral agreements, C, may sometimes be recognized, a written contract is required for clarity and enforceability. A large upfront payment, B, is not a requirement, and an intention to negotiate further, D, does not constitute a binding contract. Correct answer. C, coverage E. Personal liability. Explanation. Coverage E. Personal liability provides coverage if the insured is sued for personal injury to others, including defamation. Coverage A and B cover physical structures, and coverage FD pays for medical expenses of others injured on the insured's property but does not cover lawsuits for defamation. Correct answer. C, watercraft policy. Explanation. A watercraft policy provides coverage for personal watercraft, including liability, medical payments, and physical damage coverage. Personal auto policies, say homeowners policies, B, and inland marine policies, D, do not provide comprehensive coverage for watercraft. Correct answer. A, inflation guard endorsement. Explanation. An inflation guard endorsement adjusts the coverage limits of the policy to reflect increases in the cost to rebuild the home, including improvements such as a remodeled kitchen. Personal property replacement cost endorsement. B, covers personal items, scheduled personal property endorsement. C, covers specific valuable items, an ordinance or law endorsement. D, covers the increased cost of construction due to changes in building codes. Correct answer. D, fire. Explanation. The D3 policy covers the dwelling on an open peril basis, meaning all perils are covered except those specifically excluded. Fire is a covered peril under the DP3 policy. Earthquake A and flood B are typically excluded and require separate policies, while theft C is covered but may be subject to certain conditions and limitations. Correct answer. C, windstorm. Explanation. A standard dwelling policy D1 includes coverage for specific named perils, including windstorm, war A, nuclear hazard B, and earthquake. D are generally excluded perils and require additional endorsements or separate policies. Correct answer. D, coverage D. Loss of use. Explanation. Coverage D. Loss of use pays for additional living expenses incurred if the insured's home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Coverage A covers the dwelling. Coverage B covers other structures. And coverage C covers personal property. Correct answer. B, a financial stake in the property or person insured. Explanation. Insurable interest refers to a financial stake in the property or person insured, meaning the policyholder would suffer a financial loss if the insured event occurs. It is not about benefiting from the event, A, influencing the event, C, or merely the obligation to pay premiums, D. Correct answer. A, the insured must disclose all relevant information truthfully. Explanation. Utmost good faith in an insurance contract means that both parties, particularly the insured, must disclose all relevant information truthfully and completely. It does not guarantee the lowest premium, B, full coverage for all claims, C, or allow omitting information, D. Correct answer. B, the insured's dog bites a visitor on the insured's property. Explanation. The personal liability section of a homeowner's policy would typically cover liability arising from the insured's dog biting a visitor. Intentional damage, A, is excluded. Car damage, C, is covered under an auto policy, and flood damage, D, requires a separate flood insurance policy. Correct answer. B. It covers bodily injury to the insured caused by an uninsured driver. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage in a personal auto policy covers bodily injury to the insured caused by an uninsured or underinsured driver. It does not cover vehicle damage. A. Unless specified, is not optional in all states. C. And does not replace liability coverage. D. Correct answer. B. To summarize the key information about the policyholder and coverage. Explanation. The declarations page provides a summary of key information about the policyholder, the coverage provided, policy limits, premiums, and other essential details. Exclusions and limitations, A, are detailed in the policy itself. The claims process, C, is typically outlined in a different section, and a glossary, D, may be included separately. Correct answer. C. Personal property coverage. Explanation. Personal property coverage in a homeowner's policy protects against loss due to burglary, covering personal belongings. Liability coverage, A, covers legal liability. Dwelling coverage, B, covers the home structure and medical payments coverage. D, covers medical expenses for injuries on the property. Correct answer. B, damage to the insured's vehicle parked in the garage. Explanation. Damage to the insured's vehicle parked in the garage is typically covered under an auto policy, not a homeowner's policy. Theft of personal property, A, fire damage to the home, C, and liability for injuries to guests, D, are typically covered under a homeowner's policy. Correct answer. A, the insured is compensated for the exact amount of their loss without profit. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is compensated for the exact amount of their loss without profit, preventing overinsurance or financial gain from an insurance claim. It does not allow claiming more, B, paying less, C, or guaranteeing profit, D. Correct answer. C. Temporary housing costs if the home is uninhabitable due to covered loss. Explanation. Additional living expenses coverage pays for temporary housing and other living costs if the home is uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Repair costs, A, are covered under dwelling coverage. Mortgage payments, B, are not typically covered, and the cost of a new home, D, is not covered under this provision. Correct answer. B, a policy that covers only the perils listed in the policy. Explanation. A named peril policy covers only the specific perils listed in the policy. It is not an all-risk policy. A, does not necessarily cover liability. C, and is not limited to natural disasters. D.